Doing, Justin? Thank you for having
I'm
me.
doing good. I appreciate you taking the time and coming on for me.
Oh, no problem at all.
Yeah. So how are things going?
Things are going well, man. Just been busy with life. I mean, 2020 has been crazy for everybody.
Right.
It's definitely been very interesting and an adjustment, but life goes on, and just been moving around. That's all I can say. Yeah,
That's all you can do right now, right?
that's all I can do.
All right. So we'll get into it. So tell my listeners a little about yourself, your early life, where you're from, your come up and everything like that.
Well, I'm from a small suburb outside of West Chicago called Bellwood, not the nicest area. Uh, you know, um, was raised by a single mom, school teacher. Started playing baseball when I was 7. Been acting since I was 3. And those two avenues, my life has pretty much evolved around.
Okay.
Acting, baseball, sports. And so born and raised in Chicago, man, and of course, move around. Became an actor, baseball
Hmm.
player, model. I sing. I do a little bit of everything. I have a teaching degree as well. So, and an entrepreneur. So, yeah, Chicago born and raised, baby. That's it.
Now, are you still in the Chicago area?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes, I am.
All right. And yeah, I was raised by a single mom too, so I know how it is. You have a twin brother, correct? I think I
Yes,
read. All
identical
right.
twin.
Does he act as well?
No, he actually is a singer. He pursues his music career right now.
Gotcha,
Yes.
gotcha. Okay. I did not know that. Interesting.
Mhm.
And you said you sing too as well, right?
Yes, yes. I have 2 songs out right now. Working on the EP that's going to release sometime in the near future.
All right. Definitely have to look out for that then.
Yes, yes,
So yeah, you said you started acting at 3.
yes.
What did you do that young?
Um, Back then we were doing a lot of print ad modeling actually. So when you saw the kids in your school books holding clocks and all that type of stuff, I was doing a lot of
Hmm.
that. I
Okay.
didn't get my first big role actually was Hardball. That was my
Right.
first formal acting role outside of church plays and little theater stuff like that. But my first one was Hardball. So I did a lot of
Okay.
modeling starting off.
All right. Then after Hardball, you actually took a break from acting and just focused on school and baseball, correct?
Yes, 13 years old. My mom made me. I always say we made a deal, but she kind of like made me do it. She told me she wanted me to go to high school, have a normal childhood to a certain extent, to whatever I could, salvage at that time. And once I graduated high school, she allowed us to make the decision whether or not I want to either go to college or pursue acting full time. And so at that time, I really didn't want to because I was getting a lot of auditions for a lot of big movies, and it was a tough pill to swallow.
Right.
At that time, I did not like the decision, but as I got older and at the age I am now, I appreciate her for it. She just wanted us to make sure we remained humble and didn't
Right.
grow up and become a little screwed up like a lot of these child actors and stars become once they hear the word no. So,
Right. Yeah, you
yeah.
definitely get that a lot with child actors and once they get to like older age and all the fame
Hmm.
gets to them, a lot of them spiral out of control and
Yes.
it's pretty bad sometimes with some of them. So yeah, I get what your mom was doing there, just making sure like you said, staying humble and made sure
Yes.
you had a formal degree, which is always a
Hmm.
good thing to have to fall back on.
Absolutely.
But you played baseball 4 years of high school?
Yes, I played varsity all 4 years. Was a starting catcher, and then of course was the highest recruited out of my high school. All conference, all area. Was nominated all state. I didn't get it. But I was uh, I was pretty good. I would say I was pretty good for the area I was in because back then you didn't really know. I didn't know much about rankings, and I was very small minded as far as I was very stubborn. I can admit that. Because I mean, baseball was something that I was taught by my dad. May he rest in peace. He passed away April this year, but um, he taught us baseball at 7 years old. But after him and my mom split up when I was 11, I was just on my own with baseball from there. So everything was self taught pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
7 years old, you don't you teaching it just how to just make contact with the ball, and just catch it. So it's nothing too formal, but after that was on my own. So when you the highest recruited in the high school and arguably the best player, um, it ain't much anybody can tell you when you've been doing it on your own for so long. So when I was all conference, all area, I look at things like I was content with being good, the best in my school, but I wasn't thinking, bigger. I want to be the best in the country, and I
Mm-hmm.
didn't realize that until I got to college. So I mean, it was a humbling experience, but I was glad I learned. But I wish I did, think much broader than I did in high school.
Right. Yeah. Sorry to hear about the loss of your father.
Appreciate it.
But
Yeah,
but yeah, man, I totally get it. Like growing up, like I said, I was raised by a single mom.
yeah,
I had my grandmother and my sister there, but none of them played sports. So
right.
we're about the same age. I think you're like a month older than me, actually. As I did my
Really?
research, yeah, I'm born in April of
Okay.
'90. Yeah.
Yep. I'm
So,
March 90.
yeah, so we're around the same age. So, yeah, it's definitely hard, like trying to like teach yourself sports
Hmm.
when like you don't really have anyone else. I mean, I had my little league coaches and stuff like
Yeah,
that, but you do a lot of learning outside of practice and on your own
absolutely.
and your own research on it. And yeah, it's definitely tougher to do when you don't kind of have those influences inside the home,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
especially at a young age too. So, but I mean, for you to be able to do all that on your own and still like come out top recruit of your high school and
yeah,
still get recruited from colleges, I mean, that's a pretty big accomplishment.
yeah, yeah. It was thanks to my high school coaches, the ones who they did what they could, and they got college recruits there, and you know, we didn't have all of the social media was starting to boom. If you remember back in
Right.
2008, it wasn't no college was looking at you on MySpace, so
Right.
or tagged. So we didn't have all of these recruiting websites. If you wanted a college, you emailed them, you went and
Hmm.
visited, or they came to your games, and that's kind of how it
Right.
worked for me. So I do thank my high school coaches who did assist me in that aspect for sure.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely a lot easier nowadays to get noticed out there with Instagram, YouTube,
Yeah,
Facebook, and whatnot,
yes,
as opposed to when we were seniors in high school and we didn't have that kind of publicity.
not at all. The newspaper. I still have my newspaper clippings from some of my highlights of some games. Like you don't even see kids having that stuff anymore.
No,
You
you
just
don't.
post it online. You just post it online. That's it.
Yeah, that's true. That's crazy. So after high school, where did you go to college?
I went to St. Joseph's College in Rensselaer, Indiana, D2. And then I ended up transferring and finished up at Calumet College of St. Joseph in Indiana, the sister school of St. Joe's.
Okay.
So,
And you played baseball both schools?
yes, yes, I did.
Okay.
Baseball scholarships for both of them.
All right. And
Mhm.
if I remember correctly during my research, you got injured your senior year?
I actually got injured my junior year.
Junior year. Okay.
Yes. Um, so 2010, the beginning of my junior year, I had a little interest from the Chicago White Sox, from the local area scout, and I was making film for him. And while I was in the process of making film, so they can send it off, I tore my UCL in my elbow,
Mm,
which is it ended up being the popular Tommy John surgery that everybody knows in baseball.
right.
So once I had that. Um, the interest from the White Sox was pretty much a no go because I was coming from a small school already, and is the injury. You
Right.
can't. They can't bank, and they can't. I can't guarantee how I'm going to come back. And so, just being at a small school, them already taking the chance, it was too risky. And so, I tore my UCL in 2010, had Tommy John surgery in 2011. Yeah, so my
Okay.
junior year, so I ended up redshirting. I got hurt twice, so I
Oh, all right. Yeah, that injury is a tough one because, like you
yeah,
said, when you get that kind of injury and after surgery, you never know how you're gonna come back.
yeah,
Some guys bounce back perfectly fine, can still play the
hmm
game, and others it's a career-ending injury.
yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely a tough injury, but I take it the surgery went well, obviously for you.
Yes, I had the surgery. I had the surgery in June of 2011. It's crazy because it actually takes a year to come back from the surgery, typically at 100%. And my dad at the time was like, it's June. You already can't do anything for like 3 months. You have to heal for 3 months. So now, June, July, August, boom. I haven't done anything because they won't let you. You can't run. You can't do anything. You have to let it heal. They were like, once that happens, then you get to go to physical therapy. The season starts in February.
Mhm.
So my dad was like, all right, you redshirted last year because I didn't play, but I had the surgery in June. So if you're going to come back and be ready for February, you're going to have to push it like extreme. And my dad was a former military guy, Army, and so tough love was
Okay.
his thing. And
Mhm.
uh, he was like, "You guys get off the painkillers." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "You gotta get off the painkillers." So
Mm.
I was only on painkillers for 6 days after the surgery. I stopped not even a
Wow.
week after. And so he was like, "You have to heal naturally if you're gonna heal faster." So I'm over here, I'm in the worst pain of my life. When I tell you, I'm like, dude, I'm laying on the floor. My mom's like, "What's wrong?" She's like, "I don't know. I'm just laying on the kitchen floor. It's cold. It feels good." I'm over here just trying to find anything to make me feel better because I couldn't do anything. And he was like, "No painkillers, no painkillers." So
Mhm.
I'm healing naturally. I can't do anything. I'm sleeping on the couch because they don't want my arm to collapse when I'm laying down. So
Mhm.
I'm literally sitting upright on the couch sleeping for months.
Mm.
And then when I started physical therapy, I did double physical therapy. So everything they had me do at the physical therapy location, I would then come home or go to my school gym and do the same thing every day. And fast forward to December of 2011, they came and evaluated me and they were like, uh, "You're actually further along than we expected you to be. You're actually 1 month ahead. So we're actually gonna let you out of physical therapy a month early." I was like, "Wait, I'm
Mm.
done?" They're like, "Yeah, we can't do it. You reached the goal we have for you, and that was supposed to be next month, and you were already
Okay.
here." So I was done with physical therapy in December, and um, I came back 6 months earlier. Long story short, than a year.
Okay.
I did rush it. I was not 100%. I should have taken a little bit more time, but I did come back 6 months earlier. But I did
All
gain
right.
3 miles. I gained 3 miles on my arm. After the people think it's the surgery. It's not the surgery. It's your physical therapy. So whatever
Mhm.
you're doing and however you're strengthening those muscles, that's what makes you throw harder. So I did come back throwing 3 miles harder, for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna ask you if it affected your game that
Yeah,
much.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
absolutely.
crazy. That's crazy that like 6 days only being on pain meds and then just cold turkey quit.
Man, I told my mom just cut it off. I was like, just cut my arm off. Just cut it off. I am looking up everything. I'm like, dude, I'm icing. I'm trying to just figure something out, but I'm listening to my
Right.
dad. I'm thinking dad knows best, right? I'm thinking, all right,
Right.
he got to know something. So yeah,
Man,
6 days.
yeah, I can only imagine that it sucks in the moment, but I mean, if you think about it, man, you healed a month earlier. It was probably the best thing that
Yeah,
could have happened, but at the same time, the pain to
yeah,
go through that, that's crazy.
yeah. My dad, man.
So college though,
Mhm.
you got a degree in education to
Yes.
be a teacher, correct?
Yes, sir.
In
Elementary
elementary.
education. Yes.
All right. Did you ever pursue anything like that afterwards? Have
Um, I did work for Chicago Public Schools as an auditor and a coach. So in the off season when I was not playing after college,
mm-hmm.
that was my job outside of doing lessons. I worked for, so I was a coach and auditor. So I went in, I worked for early childhood in Chicago Public Schools, and teachers who struggle with classroom management, they would bring me in and I would help them or support them and give them methods. And of course, make sure that they're teaching to the curriculum and make sure all the files and the shot records are all up to date. So I did that from 2015 to was it 2015? 2014 to 2019. So 5 years.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, and another thing I read, if my research is right, um, you were the first African American male to graduate the education
Education
program from
program.
your college, right?
Yes, yes, the very first one to
I mean,
graduate.
how does that make you feel? I mean, that's making history, a big
Yeah.
accomplishment, man. How did that make you
If
feel at the time?
Man, it felt good. They made it more of a big deal than it was to me, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know until the semester I was going to graduate. So that second semester, they were like, you do know that you have a big responsibility. I'm like, what you talking about? I'm in the cohort with everybody else.
Right.
And they were like, there's never been an African American man to ever graduate from our education program. I'm like, no, I did not know until now. And
Right.
they were like, yes. So then at that point I was like, okay, I guess I am making history here. So
Right.
I mean, I still didn't it didn't it, I didn't think of it any differently. I was just like, okay, I'll make sure I graduate. That was more so my thing. Let's make sure I finish and nothing holds me back. So yeah,
Right.
I was the very first one. Very
That's
first. It
awesome,
was
man.
good.
Congratulations on that.
Thank
That's
you.
a big thing to accomplish.
Yes, yes, sir.
But yeah, so after college you actually signed a couple professional baseball contracts.
Yes, sir.
Where all did you sign with? Where'd you play at?
2014, I signed with the Fort Worth Cats in Texas. United League, I played with Julio Franco, one of
Oh,
the
really?
batting title champions for the
Mhm.
major leagues. He was 56 years old when he played with us.
Wow.
56. Yeah. He retired from the MLB at 48 or 47.
Right.
So he came and played with us at 56. 2015, I played with the Ellensburg Bulls in Washington State. I played in Puerto Rico when they won a league in 2016, and then I signed with the East Side Diamond Hoppers in Detroit in the United Shores League. And then I walked away after another injury that was already taking place. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, actually I'm from I live in the Michigan area, so I know
Okay.
the team you played for. Yeah. That's crazy. So
Yeah.
but in the Puerto Rico league, I think I read that you were like the fourth best player in the league.
Fourth highest batting average. Yeah, I hit 488 out there in their double A winter league.
Wow.
Hit
That's
488.
crazy.
Yeah, I was
That's
20 for 41, actually, to be exact.
20 for 41?
Yeah, my dad and I said he was like set a goal. And I'm like I'm about 400, and I used to set that goal, and he was like, no, you need no bigger. All right, 500. And I was batting 500, and then one extra at bat, I didn't get that hit, and it dropped me to 488. So that's why I was 20 for 41.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
I was hitting 500. Yeah.
So I mean, basically still hit your goal. I mean,
Oh, absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
It was still a good goal. A lot of people did not hit 300.
right.
So I hit
I was gonna
488.
say a 488's high batting average. I
Yeah.
mean, it's hard to do, but
Yes, it took a lot of focus and just consistency. And so,
right. So would you say your passion's more with baseball or acting?
man, even at 30 years old, I still find myself trying to answer that question. It
Okay.
um Well, I'll say my goal. I have put everything in order. It was always baseball, acting, then education. So, and the reason I said that was because baseball, I knew that there's always an age window. So eventually, at
Mm-hmm.
some point in time, if you don't do it, it's going that window is going to close. Acting will always be there.
Right.
So I was like, if I don't get where I need to go in baseball, where I want to go in baseball, then I have acting. And then while I'm pursuing acting, I can always use the education degree as that
Mm-hmm.
financial backing, source of income. So that was the goal. So if you go based on that, then it would have been baseball, acting, education. So, but I believe that all of them went hand in hand. They complement everything I do in life, all the avenues I do in life. So,
Right.
um, and I'm fortunate enough to have both passions in my first big role ever. So,
Yeah, a lot of people don't get that option or that
not at all.
opportunity. But yeah, you were blessed with a good opportunity to do both.
Yes, sir.
So you do you coach now, right? You do like traveling coaching for baseball and
Hmm.
softball. Tell me
Yes,
more about
I
that.
I run Juiced Up Athletics. That's my own company. I travel around and do baseball and softball training, so individual lessons and big camps and clinics. I do it full time outside of acting.
Mhm.
That's what I do full time. No more education. So I teach within my lessons and camps. That's how I
Right.
still put my teaching degree to use. So I started training kids in 2015, and then I launched my business in 2018. So actually, November will be 2 years formally that I've
Hmm.
been a full-time entrepreneur, and I'm in the Chicagoland area and Northwest Indiana area, and I'm actually in the process of expanding. I got some people want me to come up to Canada and everything and run some camps.
Oh
So
wow.
we're trying to go nationwide out here. But yeah,
Okay.
I go around and I do camps and lessons for cheaper price than a lot of these other organizations do because when I came up playing baseball, I didn't have any lessons, I didn't have any training, and if my
Hmm.
mom knew where to take us, I'm sure she would have, but we didn't know. I didn't know that people were doing lessons like this, and and where I grew up, my mom it was two of us, so my mom was not affording that at that time anyway. So
Hmm.
my objective was let's take what I learned, throughout college, professionally, and give to a lot of these children who do not have these avenues or who might not be able to afford these things. And even I have plenty of kids who can afford it, but my overall focus has been to do quality training for a cheaper price, for an affordable price. So I travel around and do it for about half the price of most of my competitors.
That's
Yeah,
awesome, man. Being able
yeah,
to give back to kids who can't necessarily afford that kind of
yes.
training because I know when I was that age, my mom didn't have the extra money to send me off to get that kind of training
Hmm.
for baseball either. So that's cool that you do that for the community. A good way to give back to
Yes,
the, your people around you and stuff like that. What age
absolutely.
what are the age groups you do?
I actually am 6 years old. Very rarely, I took like 3 6-year-olds through college, so I have a wide
Okay.
range of clientele.
Gotcha.
Yes,
All
so
right.
yeah, it's broad. It's pretty broad.
Right. That's yeah, that's cool. Maybe I can come into Chicago and bring my son and you can get some lessons from you. He's only 5 right
Absolutely.
now, but he just we just signed him up for T-ball
Okay.
and he's loving it. He's a stockier 5-year-old, so he ain't fast, but man, he can hit that ball.
That's what the world knows me as, the chubby kid. So I understand
Right.
where he's coming from. It's okay.
Right. Yeah, cuz before the interview, it's been a minute since I actually watched the movie Hardball, so I sat
uh,
down with my son and we were watching it. And the scene where you get jumped, he
uh,
was he looked at me, goes, he's like, "Daddy, is that boy gonna be okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I was like, "He's fine. It's a movie." And then I told him how I was like talking with you tonight, and he was like,
yes.
"Oh, that's really cool." And then he just went back to his movie. But but yeah, man. So you also do a nonprofit through your company too, right?
Mhm.
Tell me more about the nonprofit.
Juiced Up World Changers. We raise money, and we have raised money to support the homeless out here.
Mm-hmm.
And we had that big polar vortex last January,
Right.
and I teamed up with one of my buddies from our church, and we raised, I think, $800 and some dollars in less than 12 hours. I posted it
Wow.
on at midnight, and by noon we had enough money, and we bought propane tanks, blankets. We bought key locks for them because a lot of people come and steal their stuff. There's a place called
Mm-hmm.
Tent City out here where a lot of them have different tents, like a whole community set up, and
Right.
they people steal their stuff. So we bought locks, um, propane tanks, and some blankets and water, everything else, and whatever else we asked them. We went to them specifically. We're not people who are just, oh, we're gonna buy these things that we assume they need. We went to the guy, they call him the mayor, and we asked, what do you need? And we got what they needed, and everything else they didn't. We didn't spend. We put it on a gift card and gave them all of it. So we didn't keep any money. We gave all of it to them, and we have more donations of clothes, shirts, jackets, suits. People just trying to give them opportunities. I just don't want to keep them warm, but we want to get them out of the cold,
Right.
and we want to give help, try to give them some type of resources to actually um, leave that homeless lifestyle and actually start, get a better future, get some finances coming in, and just experience that prosperity in life.
Yeah, that's such an awesome thing that you guys are doing for the homeless out in Chicago.
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't been to Chicago in probably I think 2 years now, but I
Okay.
used to go like every year. Me and my buddies would take a trip out there and
Yeah.
just walk around Chicago to see everything. And yeah, the homeless population out there is insane. There's so
Yeah.
many, and it's so hard to like to see all of them like that, especially in the Chicago area where it does get so cold.
Yes.
Um, a lot of people don't realize, like up in like Michigan and Chicago and
Hmm.
our northern states that we live in, is how cold it gets outside, and the
Absolutely.
homeless have nowhere to go. So,
Yeah, it's rough. It's rough out here. Windy
mhm,
City, and
right,
negative. It gets negative degrees outside,
it
out here
does,
in the wintertime, man. So
right,
they need it.
right. Yeah, that's crazy, but that's such a great thing that you guys are doing. Where can for my listeners, where can people donate?
You can donate. I have a Facebook page called Juiced Up World Changers. Also, they can contact me through my business, JU Athletics Life at gmail.com if they want to donate. JU Athletics Life at gmail.com. Another one is book Julian Griffith at gmail.com, where we're always looking for donations. And not only do we donate, or but I also I public speak, and I mean, now that I transitioned full time into my business, about 90% of the time, I mean, it is paid. I mean, the schools are paying for the public speaking, but through my non for profit, I do some free public speaking as well. So we have went out, done public speaking. I was out the keynote speaker for the United Negro College Fund,
Okay.
Indianapolis. So we I travel around talking about education, the homeless, the value of education and the entrepreneur mindset, not the worker's mindset. So not only do we donate to the homeless and everything, but we just try to inspire and influence our youth as well.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. I'll definitely put the emails and the link to the show so people
Thank
can
you.
see it, and I'll throw it out there for you. But yeah, man, that's an amazing thing to be able to get back to the city of Chicago and
Thank you.
the homeless, because like you mentioned, it's rough out there, especially
Yeah.
wintertime.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So jumping into the acting part.
Okay.
I was trying to save Hardball towards the end just because of one of my favorite movies. So we'll jump into those. But you've had a couple cameo, like other little small
Hmm.
roles in shows like Chicago PD and Chicago Fire.
Hmm.
Uh, were you fans of the show before? Do you watch the show?
For the podcast purposes, yes, I love the show. I watched it all the time, and I always told myself I would love to be on this show. No,
Right.
I'm gonna be completely honest. It's not that I wasn't a fan of the show. I just don't watch TV a lot. You
Okay.
know, and a lot of you hear a lot of actors and stuff say it. You know, I
Right.
don't watch TV. So for me, um, when I'm auditioning for things, like I'll watch movies. You know,
Hmm.
I'll watch Netflix and everything. But for me, I'm so busy that
Right.
when I do have time, I rather like play my Xbox. You know,
Right.
I rather play my Xbox, maybe turn on Netflix, but I wasn't really watching TV. So I knew a lot of people who were on the shows already. I knew of the shows, but I had
Okay.
not formally watched it. And as vain as it sounds, I watch it when I'm on it. But it's not vain at all. I just want to see the performance. I watch it the one time and
Right.
then that's it. So yeah.
No, I totally get that because like you'll see a lot of actors say like they never watch anything they're in, and
Yeah.
I'm obviously not an actor or anything, but I was like, I think I'd watch something that had me in it. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, that's just me speaking, but like you said, for performance purposes to see
Hmm.
like, I mean, how you did and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I'm actually a huge fan of Chicago PD.
Okay.
I'm just a normal person, so
Yeah.
I have time
So
to
am I.
watch
So
shows.
am I.
You're a little busier than I am though.
But I got
I
a
work and I
newborn
raise
too,
my
so
son. That's about it,
I
you know?
I got a baby girl at home too, so I understand.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
But yeah, I'm a huge fan of the show. I do have to ask you though.
Hmm.
I'm a huge fan of Sophia Bush. I love Sophia Bush.
Hmm.
I've been in love with Sophia Bush for years, way before Chicago PD. So when I saw she was on this show, I naturally had to watch it. Did
Right.
you get to meet her when you did the show?
I actually did not get to meet her.
Ah,
I did
okay.
not.
I don't have to be
No.
too jealous of you then. I mean,
No.
you're still on one of my favorite shows, but I would have been a lot more jealous if you actually got to meet Sophia Bush.
Yeah, no, I didn't get to meet her. None of the episodes, none of the seasons. I was on season 4, season 6.
Mhm.
Um, none of the episodes I was on. When I filmed, she was never a part of those scenes. So no.
All right. Oh man. I was gonna say you're probably the luckiest person I've ever met. What did you like better doing Chicago Fire or Chicago PD? I know they kind of go hand in hand, really.
um. All right, I'm gonna just be honest. Chicago Fire. Um, it was much more relaxed. The castmates on both shows were great, but if I had to pick my preference, it would have been Chicago Fire. Um, they were just much more laid back and you know humble.
Okay.
Because a lot of times it's like this, and because I started so young, and I took a break, and then I started transitioning back into it. When you start and you're the star or one of the stars on whatever project you're working on, naturally people treat you like the star. So
Mhm.
it's not that it's not I'm not going to say that they aren't humble or that people don't have humility. It's the fact that their atmosphere, their environment does not call for them to be that way. So because that's the treatment that they get, sometimes people might come off you know pretty you know arrogant. So
Okay.
Chicago Fire, it was very laid back. Um, actually, like I was having full conversations with the regulars on the show, and they were the ones starting conversation with me. And then at the end, when we got done filming, they were like, "Hey, you want to take a picture with us really quick?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I didn't ask them for a picture. They were like, "Hey, can we take a picture with you?"
Right.
And the thing is, some of the younger people on the thing, yeah, they're regulars on the show, but I've been acting longer than them. I've been in this game for over 20 years, since
Right.
2000.
Yeah.
So you look at that, it's like it literally 20 years. So
Mm-hmm.
I've been acting longer than these guys, but they just been consistent. They been in it and they didn't take that break like I did. So,
Gotcha.
it was. I love Chicago Fire though. Like I said, they were great.
Mm-hmm.
Conversation was great. One of the guys, the lead, I can't think of his name on the show. He has a British accent in real life.
Casey,
It's
the
Casey.
guy who plays
Casey.
Casey.
Casey. Um, we were in the van and I was just sitting. I'm an extroverted introvert, if that makes sense. So
Mm-hmm.
I
I'm
I'm
kind of the
very
same way.
sociable. So
Yeah.
I'm very sociable, but I keep to myself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready to talk. And we were just chilling and um, I'm just there. They were like, "Oh, you're playing our cop. You're playing the cop in our scenes today." I'm like, "Yeah, no problem. Nice to meet you." They're all introducing themselves, and they're like, they were riding out of the parking lot headed to set, and they're like, "Man, whose Corvette is that?" And like everybody, he asking the driver, and because I do have a Corvette, and they were like, "Whose Corvette is that, man?" They asking the driver, "Man, I don't know." And then asking everybody, "Who's that, man? I would love it." And I'm just sitting, like this, like just in the and I'm in the front row. It was Casey asking, the guy who plays Casey. He was
Yeah.
asking. He's right behind me, and I'm like, "That's mine." What? That's yours? Yeah. They're like, "Man, that is nice." Everybody's like, "Man, that's nice. Man, I wish I could have one." I'm like, "It's for sale. You can always buy it." I'm like, I had just bought it in August because I had another one I upgraded, and I
Okay.
bought it in August. And when I found out we were having a baby, I was like, I might have to sell
Ah,
this. I might have to
right.
sell it, but I still have it.
Okay.
But yeah, they were like, they were commenting. So that's kind of how we actually broke the ice because I was sitting there quiet the entire time, and they're asking everybody in the van, "Who's Corvette? Who's Corvette? Does anybody know?" And I'm just like, "That's mine."
That's mine. It's mine.
It's fine. And I'm like, I'm like, I'm not a regular on the show, but I mean, I can afford nice things. So,
Right. Yeah,
yeah.
that's awesome. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Chicago Fire too. I've watched
Good,
it from the
good.
get-go too, and that's cool to hear that like these actors that you see on TV and that you watch every week that
Yeah,
come to find out that most of the time they're like laid back and just
yeah.
like you and start
Thanks, thanks.
conversations with you and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
So you did another show. Is it Utopia?
Yes, that's out now.
Right.
On Amazon Prime. Mhm.
All right. I have not watched it yet. Are you a regular in it?
No, I had two episodes.
Okay.
Episodes 3 and 5. They need to make me a regular. It is what it is they cast out of LA a lot,
Okay.
but they shoot here in Chicago. So when you're casting out of LA, they usually try to get like the bigger roles. And then when they come for some of the smaller roles, like for some reason, people love me in a uniform right now. So I keep getting cop roles, and I play a soldier in Utopia. So I'm still in a uniform. But
Right.
um, yeah, I'll get like a few different episodes. I could have been regulars in some shows, but without spilling too much, I think the best way I can say it is I have morals, and
Okay.
I did not, what I mean, if you
Right.
do your research, I didn't, just certain things I wasn't comfortable with. And
Mhm.
whether it was the role was related to the role or just, you know I, the best advice I can say, or the best thing I can say, is there's a lot of people out here that, that saying "I'll do anything for $1 million."
Mhm.
It's real to a lot of people. And
Right.
when you understand where you come from, and you got good
Mhm.
morals, it's just certain things you got to be okay with saying no. And what God has for you is for you. So I've said a no to a lot of stuff. So
I get it.
I couldn't. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure it all is for the right reasons, you know. I mean,
Absolutely.
I mean, you seem to be doing good, so I mean,
Yes.
uh, the right things will come for you. Any future movies or anything?
Um. Yeah. So, well, definitely everyone check out Utopia on
Mhm.
Amazon Prime. It's a good show. I finished it all. Hopefully I get season 2. I'm on hold right now. I might be filming Chicago Fire again. Excuse
Okay.
me. Um, I am slated to do another a horror movie next year called Circle of Threes, where I actually play a deputy. So it's like, you see what I'm saying? Like I always play, like, but at
Getting
least I have a
typecasted.
name. Yeah, you know,
Right.
and so I am a deputy, but it's in a rural area. I'm not in a uniform. I'm more like laid back. Got a badge on me. That's, you know, but
Gotcha.
that we're that's supposed to be filmed next year. They had to push things back due to the coronavirus and everything.
Hmm.
So Circle of Threes. There's a few things in the works. I'm writing my own show right now, and we were in the process of writing a couple more films. We were actually going to start a production company because right now is like the best time since everyone's at home. You
Right.
know, everything is going to streaming. You know, put your own content out and work these deals. Get the Adam Sandler deals.
Right.
That he's getting on Netflix for everything he get.
Hmm.
Man, have you seen the deal that he got?
Yeah, he's getting for I think his first was like a 3 or 4 movie deal, and just the money they gave him for that is
I think
insane.
he got 100 million the first time. I think they offered him 160 million for 4 more movies.
I couldn't imagine. Like, but it's
Four
also Adam
movies.
Sandler, you know. But
Yes.
yeah, but at the same time, for a streaming service to offer that kind of money
Yeah.
just for
Yeah.
movies, but I mean, good for Adam
That's
Sandler.
good. Hey man, put me in one of your movies if you watch this, man. You
Right?
know.
I've
Uh,
always wanted to be an actor, so I mean, hey,
hey,
I'll come out and
welcome.
do yeah, I'll come do one of your movies.
Absolutely.
I was in one movie they filmed up here. I was an extra in it,
What
so
movie?
it was called Into the Storm. It
Into
was
the
about
Storm.
tornadoes.
Okay.
Yeah, they filmed it up here in Michigan locally, so I'm signed up to an agency for like extra work. So
Okay. Okay.
I was like, might as well try it. See, kind of, because I've always wanted to be an actor, but I always wanted to see what like the
Set life was like.
set
How it
life was
was.
like. Yeah, and
Hmm.
man, it was really cool. I played a high school graduate. I got rained
Okay.
on the whole time, but it was a cool experience though, man. It was really cool.
Hey,
But
well, keep migrate from the extra work and get your agent to start trying to get you some speaking roles, man. That's where it's paying.
I got to get an agent first. I don't even have an agent.
Hey, look up
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
top talent agents in whatever area you stay in, and then submit to them. They
Yeah,
all doing like online submissions right now.
nice. I may have to look into that then.
Oh yeah.
But but now we're gonna jump into Hardball,
All right.
my favorite. So I mean, no, I'm not like being 100% honest with you, man. I've watched Hardball, man, a million times. Like I said, we're about the same age, so
Yeah.
we were 10 when that movie came out, and
Yeah.
like I
Well,
was
we were
playing,
11.
yeah, because it
We
filmed
filmed
in
it. We filmed it
2000.
when I was 10. Yeah.
Yeah, but at that time, man, we were like, I was writing little league, so like you see a
Yeah.
baseball movie come out, and man, me and my buddies watched that a million times, man. We put it on repeat, and it's just crazy. What was it like working on that movie set? Because I mean, you have some big names in that movie
Yeah.
before the
Before
movie.
the
You got
names,
yeah, you got Keanu Reeves, Diane Lane, what's his name,
John Hawk.
John Hawks. Yeah,
Hmm.
what was it like working with such big names in Hollywood already?
Oh man, it was great, man. The Keanu was the same way everybody describes him, the most humble guy I've
Hmm.
ever met. Just laid back. I would talk to him on set every day. He said I was his favorite. It's okay, but no, he would actually get mad. Well, I'm not gonna say he got mad. Let me not say that. He would, because the way my mom raised, we always say Mister blah blah blah. So he'd be like, hey, hey, Mister Keanu. Hey,
Hmm.
you don't have to just you don't have to just call me Keanu, okay? And yeah, we were like, okay, Mister Keanu. Sorry, I mean Keanu.
Right.
But every day, man, we would talk. when we were on set. He would just, always talk to us about, his acting stuff because he was, he wasn't. He had just done Matrix the year before, so he was still,
Mm,
he was just like about to hit that peak,
mhm,
with a lot of stuff. But it was great. Diane Lane was awesome. John Hawkes was awesome. The boys, all of us were relatively new, with the
mhm.
exception of two of them had done like two smaller things on film and Bill Cosby show. But it was great because we were just black kids. So most of us played baseball. We thought, hey, we just trying to play baseball in a movie.
Right.
That was
I
it.
mean,
And yeah.
yeah. Do you ever talk to any of the other guys from
Mhm.
the movie? Do you?
Yeah, we keep in touch on social media and everything, and like a couple of them live in LA, two of them live in LA. So like when I do go to LA, like I get up with them. A few of the other ones live in Chicago, so we keep in contact on social media, and we text each other and everything. We all said we need to get together at some point in time. As a whole, but I wish I still talk to Keanu because we could be on John Wick right now, but or the
Right.
Matrix,
Right.
but yeah.
Just you were his favorite, so just hit him up. He'll remember you.
I know, man. He don't have social media.
That's
He doesn't
true.
have social media, and I was like, I found his like, I was gonna reach out to like his publicist or something like just to
Hmm.
see if he remembers me. I
Right.
just want to catch up with him. I don't need anything. I don't want anything from him. Just you know,
Right.
just to see how he might say, hey, come go ahead, come to so and so and let's be in this. So I'm like, absolutely.
Right. You never know.
Never know.
So the scene where you guys are at Wrigley, did
Mhm.
you guys actually film at Wrigley or was that set up to be Wrigley?
We actually filmed that at the old Detroit Tigers Stadium.
Really?
Yes, because the movie was rated R at first. Okay,
Mhm.
so Chicago, the mayor of Chicago was already making a big deal out of kids cursing in the movie.
Right.
So because of that, they wouldn't let us use the stadium. So
Oh.
we had to go to because Detroit Tigers had just got their new stadium, or they were
Comerica.
they were building it. Yep, they were
Yep.
building it, and the old one was still there, of course. So they rented it out, and that's what we used to film that scene.
That's crazy. That's
Yes.
crazy. So so I'm gonna take it because when you rewatch the movie you can kind of tell, but the scene in the part where you guys see Sammy Sosa,
Hmm.
I'm assuming you guys Sammy wasn't really there.
No, he was not.
I didn't think so.
No, he wasn't.
10-year-old me wanted Sammy to be there
Wanted
because
Sarah to be
I
there.
mean as you can see I'm wearing my Cubs hat. Look,
Yeah.
I wore it because like the movie, you're from
Yeah.
Chicago, but I mean a kid in the 90s, man, I love Sammy Sosa. So that's when I
Yeah.
became a Cubbies fan. But
Mm.
yeah, it kind of breaks my heart a little bit to know that he wasn't actually there. But like
No,
if you watch the movie, you can kind of tell that it was kind of digitalized
he
in
was.
there.
Well, so here's the thing: when they filmed it, the guy who the boys initially thought was Sammy Sosa, the guy
Mhm.
that he was like, "Oh no, not me."
Right.
That's the same guy they used. Then they put him where Sammy Sosa would be standing, and we used him. So he
Ah,
was our Sammy Sosa, and he was not our Sammy Sosa for both
gotcha.
of the takes. But the reason why Sammy Sosa was not there was because they were actually in the playoffs at the time,
Right.
and they filmed him at the playoff game wherever they were. I forgot where they were,
Mhm.
but he was actually playing elsewhere, and that's how they filmed it, and then they added that clip in.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, you could definitely tell now that it was a added in feature, but I had to
Hmm.
ask because you never know. But like,
Yeah, yeah,
I didn't have my hopes up or nothing.
yeah. I was actually a Frank Thomas fan though, more than it was supposed to be Frank
Okay,
Thomas. Actually, they changed it in the movie because I
really?
wore number 35. Remember that?
Right? Yeah.
That was the reference. It was supposed to be. It was supposed to be
Ah,
Frank Thomas,
okay.
and then they switched it to a Cubs game.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and because and I haven't watched the movie in a long time. I didn't say, yeah, because when I was in the hospital,
Mm-hmm.
uh, outside of saying you're never going to stay being our coach, when he was leaving out of the room, the original line was, "I want 35, coach, 35, like flat out."
Okay.
Yeah, so
Gotcha.
that's, and then it was changed. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, because you are the one that calls out that Sammy Sosa, because
Yeah.
everyone's like telling you to like shut up. You don't you don't know. And then you walk away and you're like, there goes Sammy right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a cool little fun fact
Yeah.
to know about the movie. Did you get to keep your jersey? Did you keep those
No.
jerseys? No,
No, they didn't give us any. They didn't let us keep it because we were actually on contract for 2 and 3.
they were gonna make
So,
more of them.
well, we were on contract for Hardball
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, and 3, but
Okay,
it obviously never happened. But
right,
um, they kept all of the stuff. I guess I'm assuming in case it ever had happened at that time, but
right,
we can't fit those jerseys anymore.
right. Oh, that's unfortunate. I would have loved Hardball 2 and 3.
Everybody says
Man,
that, man. We would have loved it too. We're not opposed to doing it. I said make us college players or something,
yeah.
something.
Or now that we're old enough to be parents, because we are,
Coach.
yeah, coach or the parents of it. Yeah, they
Yeah.
could easily spin something. I mean, hell, if you write your production company, just write Hardball too.
I was filming a movie this year or in May, and that production company was actually they were actually talking about it. So
Okay,
hey, it might, maybe. We'll see.
we'll
We'll see.
see. All right,
We'll see.
I'll keep an eye out for sure. But all right, man. We're about to wrap up here, but like I said, I got a couple questions for you from being in
Absolutely.
Chicago. You probably hear the questions all the time, but I gotta know.
Oh yeah.
Question one: do you put ketchup on your hot dogs?
When I ate hot dogs, ketchup and onions, yes. Yes, I did.
Okay.
I don't eat meat anymore. I'm a pescatarian.
Oh, really?
So yeah,
Okay.
seafood at most. I haven't had any meat since any other meat outside of seafood since October 2018.
Wow. That'd be hard for me. I love seafood. I love seafood though, so I could eat seafood every day, all day.
Yes. Yes.
But man, I love my meat too though, so I don't know that I give you a lot of props for that, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
But no, like being Chicago, it's frowned upon to put ketchup on hot dogs.
I put ketchup. I had ketchup and onions when I ate my hot dogs.
All right.
Ketchup and
I'm
onions only.
like here in Michigan, if I'm at like a cookout, I'll put ketchup and mustard on my hot dogs. But like
Okay.
if you go to a Coney up here, because Michigan's known for the Coney Islands,
Hmm.
it's just the chili and mustard.
Mustard.
Nothing
Yep.
else.
Yep.
Nothing else. People look at you
Now,
weird.
if you have a Polish, then it's mustard and onions. If you
Okay.
have a Polish, so if you have a Maxwell Street Polish here in Chicago, then it's mustard. But for my hot dog, it was always ketchup and onions for me.
All right. My first
Classic.
time in Chicago, I did get a Polish dog. I
How
forgot
you
where we
like
got
it?
it from. It was good. I got it without onions though, because I'm not a big onion guy. They
Okay.
have to be grilled onions for me.
They are grilled.
Are
If
they?
you
I thought
didn't
they
go to
were raw.
Maxwell Street then. You got to go to
Probably
Maxwell
not.
Street. They grill those onions, man. And I don't eat meat, boy. I'll be riding past it sometimes. I'm like, oh my god, it made me want because you can smell it off the expressway. You can
Okay.
smell it. Yeah, it's man.
It also may have been before because I just recently started eating grilled onions.
Okay, okay.
So it could have been even before that, but yeah, I'm not sure where we went, but no, it was a good Polish dog though. I enjoyed it.
Good.
We already talked about the question before we started recording, but for the listeners,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
Cubs or Sox?
Sox fan. Sox.
Ah,
If I was I always say if the Cubs were trying to recruit me, I probably would have been a Cubs fan too. But
of course.
Sox were trying to recruit me, and my very first baseball game I went to was a Cubs game. My dad took us to. They lost, and as we were leaving the stadium, my dad says, and I quote, "I don't know why I came here. I should have just stuck with my team all along." And from that moment, I've always been a Sox fan. Always.
Okay. My first game in Chicago was actually a White Sox game. Me and my
Did they
buddies
win?
went to. They did.
There you go.
I believe
Okay.
they won by 2. So me and my
Okay.
buddies went to that, and then 2 weeks later we came back to Chicago because
Uh-huh.
Detroit was playing the Cubs at Wrigley
Okay.
at night. So I was like, I got to go to this game. And at the time, there were more Tigers fans there than there were Cubs fans.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Because I think
Absolutely.
this was probably like 3 or 4 years ago. So it
Uh-huh.
was before the Cubs won their series, which I'm actually wearing my Cubs sweatshirt too.
It was
Because I'm a
fixed,
Cubs
but
maybe. But
yeah.
no, I'm a Tigers fan and I'm a Cubs fan, but I'm also a
Okay.
Red Sox fan. Just from
Man.
I was a shortstop, and Nomar
Uh,
Garcia Parra was my favorite player.
okay.
So
Okay.
he was a Sox at the time, but he did go to Chicago the next year, the Cubs,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
after he missed the World Series with the Sox and went to
With
the
the Red
Cubs.
Sox, yep. Yep.
Yeah, but I,
See, I'm a Yankees fan.
ah, I don't know about
Yankees.
that. Yeah, I
Hey,
see that.
Jeter,
It's
A-Rod, Robinson Cano, and my favorite catcher. The reason I started catching is Jorge Posada. You
okay.
gotta remember
I'll give you that.
favorite. That was my favorite. Unorthodox, did
Right.
everything wrong,
Right.
but it was a switch hitter, offensive catcher, and could play everywhere. He was a utility player.
I'll give you that since I had Nomar with the Sox and stuff like
Yeah.
that. I'll give you that. But yeah, man, we went to that game at Wrigley. It was an awesome game. Detroit beat the shit out of them. our
Yes.
I forgot what pitcher we had pitch in that game, but he actually went up to bat and hit a home run. Our pitcher did.
It was.
And
I definitely wasn't Verlander.
it wasn't Verlander.
No.
Maxwell or something like that. I can't think of his
Scherzer.
name.
It's not
It may
Scherzer.
have been
Was it
Scherzer?
Scherzer?
It may have been Scherzer.
Because he was with Detroit, I thought.
Yeah. I just
Might have
remember
been.
that pitcher went up to bat. The guy behind us was so pissed off, man. He's throwing shit, yelling. I'm pretty sure we almost died on the train ride back because
Really?
it shook really bad, and there was a lady like sleeping on the train. You could tell she was a local, did it all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
But man, as soon as it started shaking, she just like came alive, and her eyes just like went so like bright, and I was like, oh man. I was like, if this lady's this scared, but yeah, it was freaky, and we also took a wrong turn and walked down some neighborhood that we should not have been walking down at night. So
that'll
I told
happen.
my buddy, I told my buddies, I'm like, we should probably turn around and get the hell out of here. But good times in Chicago though.
Oh, absolutely right.
But, yeah. One more question for you, and I think this is the best Chicago question to ask someone from Chicago.
Okay.
I have a feeling you probably know what it is, but I'm gonna ask you. For someone who's never been to Chicago or anything like that, where do you send them to get the best Chicago pizza?
I knew you were gonna say that.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Home Run Inn. And people gonna get mad at me because some people will say Giordano's and all that, and I do not agree. I do not agree. Because I'll say this. Home Run Inn is my ultimate favorite for thin crust. Now,
Okay.
deep dish, it's a toss-up between Connie's Pizza and Giordano's. Okay. So if you're going deep dish for Chicago style pizza, if you're going deep dish, most people I'll go ahead and say Giordano's. Okay. Thin crust, Home Run Inn. Home Run Inn pizza. Yes. Even the frozen Home Run Inn pizzas taste just as good.
Really?
In my opinion.
Okay. I've never been to Home Run Inn. I've been to Giordano's. Yeah.
Did you like it?
To be honest,
Giordano's?
I did. I like deep dish, so Giordano's was super good. To be honest, I've never heard of Home Run Inn.
You never what?
No.
Oh man, you're missing out.
And I have a cousin who she just moved out of Chicago a few years ago. They had a kid. They live in the suburbs of Chicago now, but she moved out there to go to school. And I don't know. I'll have to ask her if she's ever been to Home Run Inn, but
Home Run Inn.
Hopefully I can make it out to Chicago real soon, and I'll definitely check out Home Run Inn.
Hey, hit me up. and
I
we can
will.
go and I can take you to home run in and you can get some home run in pizza. And just go to the grocery store. They got the frozen home run in pizzas. And
You know, I
get
think
the
I may have because I've seen the Giordano's in the grocery
uh-huh.
stores. Maybe I have seen because when you say the name, it sounds familiar, but I know I haven't been there, so maybe I've seen them. But
Home run in.
I'll,
Try the
I'm
frozen one.
okay. I'm definitely gonna hit you up though if I come to Chicago.
Yes,
All right,
absolutely.
I'm gonna
Absolutely. I
hold
will
you to
take you,
that.
man. I will
All
hey,
right,
I'm
man.
for real. I will take you, bro.
Awesome. All right, man. Again, Julian, man, thank you. Like I said, huge fan of Hardball, man. When
Thank
I
you.
was able to reach out because I tried reaching out to a bunch of you guys, but I couldn't find contact information for a lot of them. But when I saw you, like I was able to find your email and shit, and I'm just like, I have to reach out, man. I
Yeah.
was like, because in my opinion, man, you were one of the leading kid roles in that movie. I mean,
Yeah.
to me, you had more like just like more like one-on-one scenes with yourself
Yeah.
as opposed to like some of the other kids in the group. So, yeah, man, you were one of my favorite
80%.
characters. Yeah, but definitely one of my favorite characters in the movie.
Appreciate you,
Probably
man.
stole a lot of the scenes, man. Yeah, you were just great in it, man. And I look forward
Thank
to
you.
seeing more of your stuff. And
Absolutely.
I appreciate you taking the time tonight and talking with me.
Oh, no problem. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having
Of
me.
course, man. Of course. But Julian, have a good night. I'm definitely gonna hit you up when I'm in Chicago
Yes, sir.
next,
Yes.
and we'll go grab some pizza.
Sounds good. You have a good night
All
as
right,
well,
man.
my man.
You too. Have a good night.
All right. Later.